Okay, so today we're diving into some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's always something, right? But today it's this, well,
it's a big one.
yeah, I mean, the execution of a German-Iranian national in Iran,
Mm-hmm.
and all we have is this really short news snippet to go on.
Which is honestly kind of where we live these days.
Right. It's like we get these little tiny bits of information,
Exactly, like these little
and
breadcrumbs.
we're supposed to make sense of the whole, like, giant complicated picture from those breadcrumbs.
It's like trying to solve a puzzle with like two pieces.
Exactly. But, that's kind of the challenge,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So let's try and unpack this thing. So what we know, and again, this is all from, Iranian state media,
Right, right.
is that a German-Iranian national, and they were also a longtime U.S. resident,
Wow.
yeah, was executed in Iran.
Okay, so right off the bat, like multiple nationalities involved.
Oh, yeah,
That's a red flag. I
absolutely.
mean, in terms of potential like international implications.
You're talking about, like, diplomatic blowback.
For sure. I mean, you've got Germany, you've got the US. They're not going to just sit back and be like, oh, well.
No, definitely not. It's interesting, though, right, that this information is coming from Iranian state media.
Oh, that's huge.
It's like, why are they the ones breaking this news?
Yeah, there's got to be a reason, right? Like, what's their agenda?
You always got to ask that with state-controlled media.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, is this about transparency? Or is there some kind of political game going on?
Totally. And it makes you think, like, what aren't they telling us?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, you look at the snippet, there's literally zero details about the circumstances of this execution.
Right. Like, was there a trial? What were the charges?
Yeah, like what even happened?
But exactly.
It's almost deliberate, this vagueness, this lack of information.
Yeah, it's like they're almost like controlling the narrative.
Oh, absolutely. And it kind of forces everyone else to come to them for more information, right?
Yeah.
They're setting the terms of the conversation.
They're definitely holding all the cards.
For sure.
Which brings us to the question of, like, how are Germany, the U.S., and the international community going to react to this?
Right, right.
I mean, this has got to be a major diplomatic incident, right?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely hitting that level. I mean, you execute a dual national, especially someone with ties to powerful countries, there's going to be pushback.
It's like that whole conflict between state sovereignty and international human rights, right?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Like, Iran has its own legal system, sure, but when it spills over into the international arena,
Things get messy.
it's a whole different ball game. Yeah.
And we've seen this play out before, haven't we? I mean, cases like, remember Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe,
Oh, yeah.
the British-Iranian woman who was detained in Iran for like 6 years?
Yeah, that became this huge diplomatic standoff between the UK and Iran.
Exactly. And it just shows you how these things can escalate, right?
Absolutely. You see sanctions, travel warnings, all sorts of stuff.
It can get really ugly.
Yeah, and each country has to figure out, like, how far are they willing to go to protect their citizens?
Right. While also trying to maintain some kind of working relationship with Iran.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance.
Super delicate. And it's easy to get lost in all the political and legal wrangling.
Absolutely.
And forget that there's, like, an actual person at the center of all
You're
this.
right,
Like,
yeah.
this wasn't just a news story.
No,
It was someone's life.
you're absolutely right.
And we can't lose sight of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can talk about sovereignty and diplomatic relations all day long.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, there was a human being who lost their life.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's the real tragedy here.
I completely agree.
So, okay, we've kind of gone through this tiny news snippet,
Yeah, we squeezed it dry.
totally squeezed it dry. But I think it's raised some really important questions
Oh, yeah.
about, international law, state-controlled media, and, like, this whole issue of dual citizenship in the 21st century.
And what it means for individuals who are caught in the middle of these geopolitical power struggles.
Exactly.
I mean, it really makes you think, right? Like, how do nations balance their own interests with the rights of individuals?
And what happens when someone's loyalties are split between two countries?
It's a question that's becoming more and more relevant, as the world gets more interconnected.
Definitely a lot to ponder.
A lot to ponder, yeah.
And on that note, I think we'll wrap it up for today.
Sounds good.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It's been,
Intense.
intense is the word.
Yeah, but important.
Absolutely. And until next time,
Take care
stay informed.
and be kind.
Be kind. Yeah, that's a good one.
Always a good one.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.